Hey, so next day in our doing a video every day this month. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button, because we got a lot of content coming out this month. And if you're catching this just because you stumbled upon the title, this is actually part 2 in a video about in a series about how much it costs to RV full time. For those of you that are new to the channel, we've been doing this now 7.5 months ish, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And we did it all through the COVID lockdown of 2020 and all that kind of stuff. So in our last video, we went through month by month, our first 6 months, and the expenses, how much it cost for us to do this. We talked about places we were staying, fuel costs, all that kind of stuff. We'll leave a link, one of those little gray boxes up here. You can go check that video out. So this time we want to talk about, since we did it for the first 6 months, we changed up a bunch of stuff since then.
What would we do different?
What would we do different, and what we are doing differently?
Yeah. Still learning.
Yep. And you know, of course, it's changing up all the time, but we made some pretty major changes to how we travel that will make this cheaper for us, and has made it cheaper for us already.
Yes.
So I tell you what, I'll talk about distance, and why don't you talk about lodging?
Yep.
So there's a freeway like right over there on the other side of this beautiful lake. So distance. For the first 6 months, we were traveling on Saturday and Sunday, and then we would stay from Sunday night to Saturday morning. We would pack everything up on a Saturday morning, and we would drive approximately 300 to 400 miles on a Saturday, 300 miles or so on a Saturday. We would stay over like at a KOA or something on Saturday night. Then we would travel 300 to 400 miles on Sunday. So you're talking 700 miles, and you're talking $300 in gas to do those trips. And you're adding like a $45 KOA bill on the Saturday. She'll talk about lodging in a minute, but you know, that's outside of, you know, like a weekly rate, which is cheaper. So we were adding, let's call it $200 a month just for Saturday nights.
Just for the travel.
Just for the travel. Now we've heard, you know, obviously, you know, there's Harvest Host and all kinds of other things. We have not used them yet. We've tried, but we haven't used them yet. But the biggest thing was the distance. So it's grueling. 300 to 400 miles a day is a lot of miles. Yes, we did have to do some of that out of necessity because we're trying to get to a destination, etc. But that being said, it's not the way to do it. So what we're doing now, at least it's not the way to do it for us. So what we're doing now is we are booking places. We'll check out Saturday morning, and then we'll check into the next place Saturday night. We're only traveling one day on the weekend, and we're really only going 250 to 350 miles at a shot.
One tank of gas.
Which is one tank of gas. There's actually some days I don't even have to get gas, so I could get gas every other weekend. And that is cutting our fuel costs literally in half. And it's making that Saturday night part of a weekly rate. So we are really minimizing our costs on that Saturday night that was costing us. And I am not as exhausted, and we are much more productive. Now, obviously, if you're traveling to see things and you're just bang, 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 one thing after another, I can see wanting to do a bunch of miles at a time. But we're full time. We're not in a hurry. And so...
And we want to be settled so that we can work and be productive,
Right, because you have to work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Eastern time. And I have many, many commitments throughout the week. So I need to make sure that we are basically ready to go. It's been nice to actually kind of have a weekend and not just be driving our brains out the whole time. And it's been way cheaper so far.
So to talk about the lodging, He touched on it. I don't even think we realized this was part of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
So what actually was happening, we had the expensive Saturday night.
Yep.
We were paying for a Sunday to Saturday, which is not a weekly rate in this. So we've been paying daily rates the whole time, I think.
A lot of the places,
Yeah.
yes. Some places they would give it to us, like if they're a Good Sam, and they would do 7 days for the price of 6 or something.
Oh yeah,
But-
6 days get the 7th free is a common thing.
Yeah. But a lot of times you're right. We were not getting the proper weekly rate.
Yeah. So now we're seeking weekly rates for one, because they typically are a lower cost. And then, so we're not having those quick layover stops, which were costing a lot of money and the less travel.
Mm-hmm.
And so in addition to that, because we had so much necessity travel in the beginning, we had places we needed to be, and it literally kind of got down to the wire. Like, you were dealing with the peak of summer, you're dealing with holidays, you're dealing with COVID, and we just kind of had to take what we could get, which wasn't necessarily maybe what we would have picked. It wasn't always in an ideal location, and it definitely wasn't at a price point that we would have sought out. So that being said, now we're not trying to plan so far in advance that we don't have some flexibility.
Yes.
But once we know, we're kind of booking in chunks almost. So it's like we get an idea of what we want to do, and then we'll just kind of put a chunk of time together. I think it's typically coming to about 3 weeks at a time, it feels like, is what we're planning for, just so we could be where we want to be.
Planning about 3 weeks out.
Yeah, so we are booking weekly rates in and near places we want to be.
And the trick to that is, if you want to go to an attraction, say Yellowstone Park, we did figure some of this out before. Yellowstone Park, Grand Tetons, stay about 45 minutes away and road trip over there.
Yeah, and that's not only cost, that is also for internet coverage.
Yes, because there is a force field around all national parks.
Yes.
Like, you drive in the gate and your cell phone doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
So in order for us to be able to continue to work and do what we need to do, we stay a little bit further away, and it does get your rate down. Like, if you stay right in the big parks at Yellowstone Park, it's expensive, man, way expensive. So we stayed in Bozeman, Montana, which was an hour drive from Yellowstone. The drive there was still pretty. You weren't missing anything. It was gorgeous. It's not like you're like, oh, I gotta drive all the way over there then see something. It was beautiful the whole way. So it was fine. So another question that people have is, how do we find the places to stay? I mean, you can get on KOA.com and book KOAs, but that's the most expensive, pretty much.
Yeah, and you can, and it's easy, and if you need to do that, it works perfectly.
Awesome.
I love their app.
We do use it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else we got? Well, let me talk about trip planning, since I'm talking about distance.
Yeah, you go ahead and start.
I use, and we'll put links to these in the description below. I use RV Trip Wizard. It is a part of a network of apps. And so on my computer at home,
Called RV Life.
Yep, called RV Life. We'll put a link to that app below. And it's like $40 a year or something. And basically, it gives me a planning app that I can put the dimensions of my motorhome. It routes us around like low bridges and all that kind of stuff. And what it allows me to be able to do is pick RV parks based on the stuff that I'm members of, like Family Motor Coach Association, Good Sam, all that kind of stuff. And then shows you all the other RV parks too. And it sets a radius for the day. This is about how far I want to go. Okay, let me pick the next spot. Okay, click over to that spot. Okay, let me pick the next spot. And I do that when I'm doing kind of a broader plan. Like, we're going to go from here to South Carolina in the next 4 or 5 weeks. And I use it to just kind of set radiuses and sort of set goals of where we're going to go. we may not like totally stick to it, but I use that to just kind of put dots on the map.
And it's really good. I would say if you're super nerdy about planning and you want to plan all your stops, you can put in like your fuel consumption and how often you have to get fuel. And again, it works in this radial system.
Yep.
And you can put in how much you're spending, how much gas is. Like, you can literally, and it'll do per trip, it'll like tally up for you. I mean, it's a really nice system.
Yep.
That we probably aren't even taking full advantage of, but just so you know what it's capable of handling.
It's a little clunky at first. If you want me to make a video like with the screen live and, you know, talking about it and how it works, put that in the comments below, because maybe I will do that, because it is a little clunky at first. I almost hated it and like was bummed out that I paid the money. Yeah, once I figured it out, I was like, oh no, I really do like this. If you want me to help you get through that part of it, put that in the comments below, and maybe I'll make a little video about that.
And I use it a lot too. A lot of times, so we make these plans, but then we get in the car on driving day, and you can't just pull up Google Maps, because Google Maps doesn't know how big you are. Google Maps doesn't know that you want to avoid 2-lane dirt roads. You know, like,
yes.
So they actually have a GPS piece of their family of apps too. So I usually put in the destination there to get an idea about what the RV friendly route is, then actually compare it to Google Maps so that I can know, because I am the navigator on travel days.
Yep. And then to actually find places to stay.
Yeah.
And actually to save us a bunch of money.
Yeah.
What are you using this new thing?
Yeah, so I was seeing a lot of people recommend an app. We've, bought and played with a lot of things. I kind of thought I had it zoned in, and I was like, there's no way there's one app that's going to do everything for me. But I think there is one app that does everything for me. It's called All Stays. I think it was $9.99 in the App Store.
We put a link down there.
And that's not an annual thing, so it was just $9.99 for the app. And what I like about it is you can search things around you. If you were looking for a gas station or a camping world, like, it has all of these things integrated in there for you to search. But then if I know, based on his radial, where we want to head next, I can search there, and then it shows me, I can filter it down to just campgrounds. And then because we're trying to save money, I actually filter it down further to like Army Corps of Engineer parks, and city and county parks are actually much more affordable than so it typically goes like, sure, you can boondock. It does show you free things in there too. We're usually too big for those things.
Yep.
So then it's Army Corps, city, county parks, state parks, and then independently owned parks. So I filter it down first to check for Army Corps of Engineer, city and county parks, so that I can just see if there's something in that wheelhouse first that we can make work. Because if we can make that work, it's usually at a really good price point, such as where we're staying this week at the Illinois State Fairgrounds.
Yeah. So for example, she found this place, and so it's a parking lot. But it's only a few minutes from here, and here we are.
Full hookup parking lot.
Full hookup parking lot. $125 for the week. And
perfect internet. We didn't have to set up our WeBoost.
Amazing internet. And, we just drive over to here, and this is beautiful. So, we can still do stuff. We did some hiking, so it was, and that's, I guess, the thing for us, especially saving money on this next run, is we don't really care necessarily about all the resorty stuff. Now you may have a family and kids, and you want the pool and you want all the stuff, but that stuff was all closed anyway this summer because of COVID, and so it helped us to realize, we don't actually need it. These simpler parks are saving us a bunch of money.
When you look at reviews and everybody's telling you how clean the bathrooms are, what the showers look like we don't really care about that.
We don't need that. You may, but we personally don't. So these more simple places are awesome for us. So anyway, we just wanted to share that. We think that the next 6 months or so is going to be a lot cheaper. Maybe, I tell you what, we do a live on Sunday nights at 9:30 Eastern time. PM. We will do one this Sunday night. Maybe this Sunday we'll look at September and the beginning of October and kind of get a feel for how this new way of doing things is going for us. And we'll just kind of give you we can't give you a 6-month average because we've only been kind of changed up on this for the last few weeks. But at least we'll give you...
I would say we just decided in the last couple of weeks.
we'll give
because
you.
we already had some plans.
Yes.
So I think we're really early in the process to see the results. He can feel the results. I can feel. We feel like we've been here a long time because we got here early on a Saturday afternoon.
That's
We
great.
explored Saturday. We explored Sunday. We had time to relax.
I'm not whipped
and get
from
ready
driving.
from the work.
I mean,
for
it's
the week for work.
great.
Yeah, it was. It's been
great.
fun.
So, check us out Sunday night, 9:30 Eastern time, PM. And I guess we're gonna try to still keep up a video every day this month on this channel. So I guess we will see you tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out.